I wouldn't have any other captain other than Chris Barnes.
He's always near the top.
I think the best bowler right now in the world is Chris Barnes.
Chris Barnes is the bowler to watch.
Osku, the captain, he certainly found a way to win all the time.
By far one of the best bowlers there are in the world.
When he's on, he is extremely hard to beat.
He can just come out of nowhere and light it up.
When I get on the lanes, it's game time.
We're the top dogs here.
Welcome to the 888 Poker Weber Cup 13 here at the Metrodome in Barnsley. Europe's finest go head-to-head with the best of the best from the USA in this single-lane format competition, and so far, it's one apiece. Yes, hello and welcome to Barnsley. It's been a terrific start to the tournament. There are 4 bowlers on each team. It's the best of 33 matches, and it's the first to 17, and so far, nothing to pick between the two teams.
So the traditional Baker game to get things underway in Weber Cup 13, and that is not what Team Europe wanted to see. Again, he's really fishing with that line, and this could be to the benefit of Europe here. Oh no, and again, our second 7-10 split. That's horrible. And that's changed things quite dramatically in this match, and Europe must capitalise on it. Again, he's wide, it's made it back, but left a ring in 10.
And that's the game over, I'm afraid.
It's Team USA that chalk up the first victory. No.
Dear, oh dear. It's going to be an open frame for Mike Fagan. May well be the turning point in this game.
Koivuniemi, Team Europe need all 10 here. They've got them, and that's the way to do it. If you get a chance to close the door, close it, and there's our first Moose celebration. Team Europe get their first point on the board at Weber Cup 13.
Confirmation then of how the Weber Cup has panned out so far. Quite low scoring, the teams struggling with the lanes and maybe the pressure as well. At the moment, it's one apiece. All that means it's time to meet the players.
The US team, they are good. Of course, they can take the title, but I have a good feeling in my stomach. I think we're gonna come back and victorious this time. Chris Barnes is the bowler to watch. We've just been bowling for 3-4 tournaments in the same trip. The World Singles, he won that, and then he was second in Thailand, and now he just won in Vienna. So he's definitely the guy who's on form. But if he can get out of his balance, you never know.
Their team is very well on form across the board, and it will be tough to beat. Osku is Osku. I mean, he's probably bowled a couple of games in this tournament that are nearly unbeatable. I'm looking forward to being able to express once again the American dominance over his whole collaboration of Europe to try and keep up with us.
So Osku Palermaa up against Chris Barnes, game 3 of Weber Cup 13. The two skippers against each other. Third on the UWTBA World Rankings. The man from Texas has a good solid record in the Weber Cup, which is why he is going to captain this US team and into the foreseeable future. And he's up against a man that has really stepped up to the plate for Europe. It wasn't an easy job to come into the captaincy of this team, you know, selecting players from all parts of a very, very strong area of bowling, but Osku Palermaa has done very well indeed to step in. And the 28-year-old, now based in Gothenburg in Sweden, but originally from Finland, I'm sure will be looking to climb up those WTBA rankings over the coming seasons. And two players that know each other very well, but it is fair to say Chris Barnes owns Palermaa on this Weber Cup lane, and I'm sure the two-hander from Finland will be looking to redress the balance. Now then, how are the conditions going to suit these two players today?
Well, the thing is, Simon, that Oscar's actually going to burn the right-hand side of the lane with his high-power, high-revving bowling ball. Barnes is going to be playing in the same sort of area because they're both right-handers. It's just a matter of what's going to happen down the back end there. And that's a great-looking shot with a great shape to that ball from Chris Barnes, draws first blood.
Yeah, he'll take that one. It was nice to get a strike straight off the bat because it means that the way you've looked at the lane during your practice balls is the way that you've seen it, and it's a correct read. The little Barnes hang 5 celebration. Now then, Palermo, one of only a handful of two-handed bowlers to be operating at the highest level. Jason Belmonte of Australia, the other man that plays at this level, and this is a good start. This is a good start. Billy, Chris Barnes, he and Tommy Jones fancy it when the condition starts to hook a bit more, but of course it suits Osku Palermaa, who does have the biggest strike ball in the tournament without doubt.
He just overpowers the lane. It's just unbridled power and speed, and of course that's fantastic when he hits the pocket and carries all 10 like you've just seen. Barnes more of a finesse player, controls the speed, slightly different line and length, makes 2 strikes in a row. Well, that's a great start. It couldn't be better, and it's put Osku under pressure straight away.
Son of Jor-El, which translates to Superman. Chris Barnes with a good start, certainly flying at the moment.
Simon, he's actually the very formed player at the moment. He's just come back from a couple of tournaments in throughout Europe, had a big win in Vienna recently, and is also the current world singles champion. Palermaa, on the other hand, is the PBA world champion, which he won in the United States much earlier this year.
There's next ball, and you will have heard Cass make the point about the two-handers having to hit the pocket, and that is crucial to how Palermaa is going to score in this game. If he keeps it in the pocket, he'll keep getting that kind of mix on the pins, but if he misses the pocket, that's when we could see some trouble. And Chris Barnes will just be trying to plug away, keep the strikes going, and keep the pressure on his opposing captain.
And of course the other thing Barnes has seen in the past, that if he can put pressure on Palermaa has been known to crack occasionally. Just get a little bit of, sometimes he sees the red mist rising and will miss a single pin. So Barnes is going to keep up the pressure. He's perfect through 3, still en route for that highest score.
Lovely looking strikes from Barnes, who's working with the condition. When you watch Palermaa come down, he's actually putting quite a lot into these deliveries. He's throwing the ball extremely hard. Learnt his two-handed style, just like Belmonte, because he started bowling as a youngster, and the ball was just simply too heavy, even the small ones. So had to bowl with 2 hands, but it allows him to put such a huge amount of revs on the ball. And that one's straight through the head pin, and I'm afraid frame 3 illustrates the point we were talking about.
Not in the 1-3 pocket, high through the head pin, and the ball kept hooking, and it's got a lot of power. It just didn't break the pins up. It didn't set up a proper chain reaction. It's the 3, the 6, 7 and 10. It is a makeable spare. He's got to chip that 3 pin across to take the 7. No. Very close indeed. Good try, but unfortunately it is the first open frame, and it was a big one.
But just look at what an open frame does to your score. It's destroyed it for Palermaa. So his maximum reduced to 262. And from Barnes' point of view, he's just got to keep ticking away. And it was all going so well for the Team Europe captain. A nice double to kick things off, but then a horrible open frame, and something to think about now for Osku.
Well, likewise, something to think about for Chris Barnes, because Osku's had the open. What do you think Chris Barnes is going to do? He's going to try and bury it right in the pocket and make 4 strikes in a row. Really put the European captain under pressure.
Oh, he thought he had it as well. He thought he had it, but he's left a single pin.
Yeah, just didn't quite get the reaction. Here is the slow motion replay. We're looking for the 7 pin in the corner to stand up. I think he's gone just a little bit wide, and it's not quite in the pocket. Can't get the drive over to that 7 pin to kick it out. So this can only be a spare. Go hard and fast and straight and hope it holds on, which it does nicely.
It's quite unusual for a right-hander to leave the 7 pin.
Yeah, it was just the reaction in the pin deck didn't quite set up and get the carry.
But Barnes still clean, which is why he still has the advantage. But a little bit to think about for the American captain. And boy, will he think about it. Now, from Osku's point of view, Cass, this guy's he's an absolute computer, isn't he? He's a maths wizard. He can calculate exactly what anybody's doing and what he needs to do. Oh, nice messenger, nice messenger. And that's the typical two-handers rogue pin.
So much power going into the pocket. Although it's left the 10-pin standing in the corner, there's so much power coming off this bowling ball that the head pin, and you'll see it go, hits left, off the kickback, straight across the pin deck and takes the 10-pin away. And as you said, Simon, we call that the messenger. And it knocked on the door and someone was at home.
Means Barnes has to strike here. And that's wide. That is very wide, and it stayed out in the oil, and he is very lucky to just leave a single. Could have left a split there.
Yeah, appeared he changed slightly. He moved left on the approach with his feet, which tried to open up a bit more angle. He's tried to make a move, but having shot 3 strikes and a 9-pin spare, you wonder why he wants to move. But that ball certainly got away from him, and he's fortunate just to leave 1 pin standing.
Here comes the spare ball. Spare ball made of a different material to the strike ball, so that it stays straight on the lane and goes at the target that you've aimed it at.
Yeah, there's not so much friction with these hard surface balls that are sort of plastic polyester type. So chance for the European captain here to shoot 2 strikes in a row. Help to cover that big open frame that he had. Just close the gap between him and Barnes. And coming down to the halfway stage, and this will be a very important shot.
Yeah, that's nice from Palermaa, and that double goes some way to covering the open frame that he had in frame 3.
Yes, keeps it all tight, and it gives him the opportunity to keep going because he's got the strikes, whereas Barnes is working on 2 spares in a row.
Nothing between these two players at the halfway stage of this captain's clash. The 10-pin action continues here at Weber Cup 13 after the break.